Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Yitarita Chayenapi Bhakti Bhavena Chetasa Veda Shastra Puranani Tananitani Sarvashaha. So we are reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, 16th chapter, text 21. Shri Gurundina Taranam. So, there are many living entities who are so entangled in material nature that there is little or no possibility for liberation. Shastra says, Jalaja Nava Lakshani. For instance, under the ocean, in the waters, they're living 900,000 different forms of life, undersea life. And Stavara Lakshavingshati. On the earth, on the surface of the earth, there are 2 million forms of non-moving creatures. This means like plants, trees, vegetables. Krimaya Rudra Sankhya. There are 110,000 forms of insects. Pakshinim Dasha Lakshani, and there are 1 million forms of birds. Pashava Tringsa Lakshani, 3 million different kinds of animals. And then Chatur Lakshana Manava. There are 400,000 species of human beings. Not all of which live on this earth. These species, some of them are other planets. So all these lower forms of life, the fish and the insects and the plants and the birds and the animals, they're completely absorbed in the bodily concept. All of their intelligence, because all creatures have intelligence. But in these forms, the sum total of intelligence is invested in bodily affairs with nothing left. So what are these bodily affairs? Ahara, Nidram, Bhaya, Maitunam Cha. The Shastra says, bodily affairs means 4 things. Eating, sleeping, mating, and self-defense. So if one looks under the ocean, one looks in the sky at the birds, one looks on the land at the plants, one looks at the animals, one looks at the insects. This is what you'll see they're doing, these 4 things. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending, and dying. That is the whole point of their life. Nothing more. Now, if one looks at the human species, one will see the same thing is going on. That the Shastra says, Samanyam etat pashubi naranam. That one will see these four activities both among the pashus, the lower forms of life, as well as among the naranam. Nara. Nara means the men. Nara means man. Nari means woman. So among the men and women, one will also see these four things. So then what is it? What is special about a human being? Yes, there is one quality. Dharma ye tat ariko vishesha. It is said that there is dharma hitesham ariko vishesha. There is one quality that distinguishes the human being from the animals, and that is dharma. So, what is dharma? Dharma means the path to liberation. The cultivation of Krishna consciousness, which begins by following civilized codes of behavior, in the affairs of eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Yes, so human beings and animals, they do those four things, but human beings should do them as it is prescribed in the Vedic scriptures. Not eating anything. You see? Not sleeping, not thinking that sleep is a great success in life. If I can sleep 12, 15, 20 hours, I've really accomplished something. Not having sex simply to gratify the senses, having sex with anyone, anything. So these bodily activities have to come under regulation. That is the beginning of dharma. And then one should progress to understand that I'm not the body. That's the result. If you regulate the sense activities of the body, then you become detached from the body. Then you can understand, I'm not the body, but I am soul, spirit, soul. And then the final stage is to understand, what, as spirit soul, what is my duty? So, Jivera Swarupai Nityera Krishna Das. The Swarup, the form, the actual form of this soul is Krishna Das, servant of Krishna. That is my only duty. that is my Sanatan Dharma, my eternal duty, my eternal path in life, service to Krishna. Now, if a human being has no dharma, then dharma hinena pashubi samana. The Shastra says, then there's no difference between him and these fish and insects and plants and birds and animals. Then that human being, so-called human being, is called Dvipada Pashu. He's just another animal, but Dvipada, with 2 legs. So mostly animals have 4 legs or 6 legs. But here is one with 2 legs. That's the only thing that makes him different. So, here in this verse we have read, Lord Krishna is telling what is the destination of such so-called human being. Because he did not take the path of Dharma, therefore he has to pass through 3 gates, 3 dvaram, 3 gates which lead where? To Naraka, means hell. The one who passes through these 3 gates, Nashana Matmana, he destroys himself. What that means is, of course the soul is eternal, cannot be destroyed. But it means he loses the opportunity to understand himself as spirit soul. His consciousness becomes completely polluted by kama, krodha, lobha, lust, anger, greed. These are the 3 gates to hell. You see, the mind, the shape of the mind determines the shape of the body. So when the mind becomes contaminated by lust, anger, and greed, then that mind actually loses its human shape. Even though the body, again, Dvipada, has 2 legs, 2 arms, a head, looks like human being. But that mind can be seen in the face. Prabhupada said the face is the index of the mind. So, persons who have surrendered, who have gone through passed through these 3 gates, whose mind is completely polluted by lust, anger, and greed, that can be seen in their face. Their face is no longer a human face. Their face looks horrible. It's like you may see in the town, Sofia, people walk their dogs on the line. Look at the face of the dog, then look at the face of the owner. And one will see they look the same. The dog is, and you look up, and he's over there. Because his mind is just like that dog. Therefore, the dog is his best friend. He's doing the same as that dog. Eating the same. Sleeping the same. Having sex the same. Everything the same. They're brothers. So, that means this poor unfortunate person has lost his chance to get free of birth and death. That chance is open to us in this human form. But if we pass through those 3 gates, then that chance is lost. We see, just like we mentioned, 110,000 forms of insects, Krimio Rudra Sankhya. So many different kinds of insects. And we see the human being, when they ride motorcycle, or helicopter, they put on such helmet and such clothes, such kind of suit. They look like insect. And not only look like insect, but acting just like insect. On motorcycle, or in helicopter, running. This means that the human intelligence, the God-given brain, which is meant for understanding Dharma, has been wasted completely on animalistic pursuits. Now, there will be people who will reply, but we must live this way. This is our civilization. This is progress. This is our purpose. By speaking like this, you will, if people listen to you, follow you, you will rob them of their purpose in modern society. This is very bad. So, this type of attitude, which says that this animalistic way of life is good, is progress, is what we need. That attitude is called demoniac. So there are many demons in this world. And they are promoting these 3 gates to hell. Come on, everyone! Go through these gates. They're very nice. What's waiting for you on the other side is very good. This is what is understood today as progress. Progress through these gates of lust, anger, greed, and fall in hell at the end. So this state of affairs, Lord Krishna calls in Bhagavad Gita, dharmasya glani. That means irregularity in dharma. Human being has his dharma. But when the demons become powerful and they deviate the human being, that's called dharmasya glani. It means irregularity in proper human dharma. So who can tell me from Bhagavad Gita what Lord Krishna says he does when there is this dharmasya glani? What? Sambhavami. Yes. Krishna says, I come. Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata. Then I appear in this world. So Krishna has appeared. Because this asura dharma or dharmasya glani is so predominant. Human beings by the millions and billions are throwing away their life, throwing away their chance. So therefore Krishna has come. Kali Kale Namrupa Krishna Avatar. In this age, Kali Yuga, Kali Kali, the time of Kali, the age of Kali, Namrupa Krishna Avatar. Krishna appears in the roop, in the form of his holy name. And just as he says in Bhagavad Gita, explaining the purpose of his descent 5,000 years ago. So Krishna's purpose now, in the form of his holy name, is the same. Paritranaya sarunam vinasaya cha duskritam. Krishna said 5,000 years ago to Arjuna, I have come to save, to deliver the sadhus, my devotees. The saint, sadhu means saintly person. I have come to deliver the saintly persons and vinasaya cha duskritam. And as far as the rascals, dushkrita, the rascals, the demons, Vinasha, I have come to smash them. So when we read the Krishna book by Srila Prabhupada, we can see exactly how Lord Krishna did that. Just like when Lord Krishna fights with the demons, he very often manifests 4 arms. And in each of the 4 arms, he is holding he's holding one of 4 symbols. So let's hear. Someone name one symbol. Name one symbol. Just one.
She said
Concha. Sudarshan Chakra. Another one? You know? Huh? Lotus?
The mace.
Mace. Club. So, which ones are for the demons? The club and Sudarshan Chakra. Sometimes Krishna is slicing off their head. Or sometimes the demons, when they're attacking, they have many arms. So he cuts off their arms. And sometimes Krishna is smashing the demons on their head. And the sadhus, the devotees, Lord Krishna is blessing. He is sounding the conch shell as he did in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. This engladdens the hearts of the devotees. They know that victory is near because Krishna has taken their side. And with the lotus is the symbol also of goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Ji. So that means they receive the blessing of the goddess of fortune. So, now, the Lord has appeared as His holy name. And He is accomplishing the same thing. But in this age, there is a very unusual circumstance. And that's that the sadhus and the disputinas live together in one body. 5,000 years ago, the sadhus, saintly persons, they were living in certain kingdoms, certain families, like Yadu dynasty, Vrishni dynasty. And the Asuras were living in other places, like in the city of Mathura under Kamsa, in the city of Rajagriha under, what was his name? Jarasandha. So, but now, devotee and demon are in the same body. So the sadhu, the devotee, is the soul. Actually, everyone spiritually is servant of Krishna. Sadhu, the word sadhu is related to the word sat. So sat means true, sat means eternal. Sat also refers to the soul. So in our true identity, we are devotees. In our eternal identity, we are devotees. But due to the influence of the age of Kali, we have accepted sinful activities. And that's the meaning of the word dushkritina, or dushkrita. Krita means activity. Dush means bad. So just like Jesus said in the New Testament, hate the sin, not the sinner. That one who's committing the sinful activities, he is actually pure in his own spiritual identity. But his activities, his krita, have become very bad. Dushkrita. And what are these bad activities? It means activities of lust, anger, greed. By these activities, one becomes known as a demon. Just like Ravana, he saw Sita Devi, Lord Ramchandra's wife, so he became lusty. This is the mode of passion, Rajoguna. And then he proposed in his lusty, passionate mood. He proposed to Sita Devi, you come with me? And she said, no, I am the wife of Lord Ram. So then what happened? See, after being passionate and refused, then he became angry. Yes. Kama Krodha. Then he became angry. And what mode of nature does anger represent? Go on. What mode of nature does anger represent? It represents ignorance. So, then, in his anger, he thought, I'll just take this woman, kidnap her. So that is greed. When one becomes too greedy, then he takes things that aren't his. So anger and greed, these are both symptoms of ignorance. What does ignorance means? It means that one is no longer considering the reaction of his activities. In passion, one is very lusty, has many desires. He's making many plans how to fulfill those desires. He's getting more and more excited about doing all these sinful things. That's passion. And ignorance means then you act on those sinful desires, not caring for the reaction. So that's a demon. He lives under passion and ignorance, no goodness. So this demon Ravan, what was the reaction for his kidnapping Sita Devi? he was killed. But he was very fortunate that he was killed by Lord Ram. Because when one is killed, punished in this way by the Supreme Lord, then one is purified of the contamination of lust, anger and greed, or passion and ignorance. See? Now, Lord Krishna, in this verse, he's speaking of living entities who are punished not by the Lord himself, but by material nature. And this is what happens to most living entities. They're simply punished by material nature. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada said, actually, Krishna, he only comes, his only purpose really in appearing is to save his devotees. He doesn't have to come to destroy the demons, because Maya will do that. She's powerful enough to destroy all the demons. But you see, when Maya punishes the demons, there's no purification. They're simply thrown into the hell. And they suffer. And after suffering horribly, this hell is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. So after suffering horribly in hell, then they're released into these lower forms of life that we mentioned, the fish and the plants and the insects and so on, the birds and the beasts. And they have to come up through all these levels of consciousness. 900,000 species of undersea life. And it may be that their karmic punishment is such that they have to take 100,000 births as a particular kind of undersea worm before they can go to the next higher platform. And then after coming up through 900,000 forms of undersea life, then they can come onto the land and enter the plants and the trees. And there they have to pass through 2 million forms. And from there, 110,000 forms of insects. 1 million forms of birds. 3 million forms of animals. And then finally, human form. So this is what it means to be punished by material nature. So, the Lord is very merciful then. When He punishes the living entity, he becomes free of passion and ignorance. So now the Lord has come in the form of His holy name. And in this form, Krishna hasn't come to punish at all. He's not punishing. He's only purifying. This is Lord Chaitanya's special mercy. He did not come carrying club or sudarshan. Lord Chaitanya's symbols are the mridanga and the book. The kartals. So Lord Chaitanya's mission is simply preaching the holy name. To purify this most sinful age, these most unfortunate human beings, purify them of passion and ignorance. So, then when one, by accepting this process of purification, which simply means to hear and chant Krishna's holy name, when one does this, he becomes very quickly established in goodness, sattva guna. There, in goodness, then this lust, anger, greed cannot touch him. So here in this verse, Lord Krishna says, there are 3 gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. So what, in other words, what's being said here, every sane man should chant Hare Krishna. Because in this age, there is no other way to give up lust, anger, and greed. Sane means sumeda, means there's some brain, there's some intelligence in the head. So about Lord Chaitanya's appearance, it is said, Krishna Varnam Tvisa Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam, that Lord Krishna has come again in this age, but this time his color is not black, it is golden. He's come in a golden form. And in that golden form, he's always singing the syllables, because that's another meaning of the word Varna in Sanskrit. Varna means syllables. Krishna. So Krishna Varnam. He's always speaking the name Krishna. So Krishna comes again in Kali Yuga in this golden form, always speaking, always chanting the name of Krishna. And he is accompanied by his associates. So the Lord's associates are Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar Prabhu, Srivas Prabhu, his associates in the Panchatattva. And their associates. So, and their associates. and their associates. So it gets very, very big. Finally, the Parshada, the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, are including all the devotees in ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada said, he compares Lord Chaitanya's movement to a great tree. Srila Prabhupada says, ISKCON is an important branch on the tree of Lord Chaitanya's movement. So, for one who has intelligence, Krishna Varnam Tvisa Krishna Sango Pangastu Parshadam, one who is Sumeda, who has some brain, then he will take part. Yajanti hi Sumedasa. Sankirtana Praya Yajanti hi Sumedasa. He will join this Sankirtan movement. He will enter into the association of the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and chant Hare Krishna mantra. And become free of lust, anger, and greed. Human beings should live according to Vedic Dharma. So, that means still eating, sleeping, mating, defending, but without eating meat, fish, eggs, without engaging in illicit sex, or gambling, or intoxication. And using this body to further expand Lord Chaitanya's mission in this world. So this means expanding Sankirtan means serving the holy name. Huh? Kali Kale Nam Rupa Krishna Avatar. In this form Krishna has appeared. Here and now Krishna is with us in the form of his holy name. So if I enlist myself in the Sankirtan movement and use this body to push on the chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then I am participating in the Lord's Leela, in the Lord's own pastime. You read the Krishna book, you see when Lord Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago, he was assisted in his activities, first in Vrindavan by Nanda and Yashoda and the cowherd friends. And then when he went to Dwarka and Mathura, he was assisted in these places by other devotees. So all these devotees are Krishna's eternal associates. So if we serve the holy name, with Krishna's Rupa, Krishna's own form in the Kali Yuga, this avatar, then we likewise become the eternal associates of Krishna. Very simple. in a book called the Priti Sandarbha by Jiva Goswami. It was a very wonderful statement. That within the Lord's effulgence, within the effulgence, the Brahma Jyoti effulgence of Krishna, there are unlimited, beautiful, spiritual forms which exist in potency only. They exist within the light of the Brahma Jyoti in potency. So, the liberated souls who become liberated from lust, anger, greed, and who attain the Lord's association, then they are endowed with one of these forms. Every liberated soul comes into the company of Krishna just by being with Krishna. Then, by his potential effulgence, that liberated soul gets one of these beautiful spiritual forms. So when we chant the Hare Krishna mantra, we are associating with Krishna. We are, first of all, becoming liberated from lust, anger, greed, and we are coming into Krishna's direct association. So you see the holy names, Hare, Krishna, and Rama, these holy names, they're shining with the effulgence of Brahman, because they're not different from Krishna in any way. So when we associate with these transcendental syllables, by always chanting Hari, Krishna, Rama, and by serving these holy names in the Sankirtan mission, then our existence becomes completely purified by the effulgence of these transcendental syllables. And furthermore, from out of the transcendental effulgence of these syllables of Krishna's holy name, come our spiritual form, which is bestowed upon us. Form of Krishna's friend, form of Krishna's mother or father, form of Krishna's lover. All of this just by associating with Krishna. That's all. So, then who having some brain, who having some sanity, will not take up this wonderful process of Nama Sankirtan? If we do not, then we have to associate with the lower modes of nature. Mr. Lust, Mr. Anger, Mr. Greed. And in their effulgence, we get a different kind of body. As explained, 900,000 forms of fish. And what is it? 2 million forms of plants, 1 million forms of birds. 110,000 forms of insects. 3 million animal forms. And then 400,000 human forms. So in this way the soul goes around and around and around. The cycle of birth and death. So Krishna is saying, don't go through those gates to hell, gates of lust, anger, and greed. And that means chant Hare Krishna, because that's the only way to save oneself from going through. Chant Hare Krishna, come into the association of Krishna's devotees, and serve the holy name by the Sankirtan mission. In this way, one associates with Krishna in his Leela as the holy name, and is given spiritual body and goes back home, back to God. Are there any questions?
The sound will deal with this basic substance.
The what? Sound.
Sound.
Ah.
Is also spiritual basic substance.
In the spiritual world, the basic substance is chit. Chit means consciousness. Now this sound in the material world from which the elements progress is also this is the original sound, the breathing of Mahavishnu. So that sound is also impregnated with knowledge, the Vedic knowledge, because as Mahavishnu breathes, he's breathing out the Vedas. And so from the knowledge, direction from within that sound, that Vedic sound, the whole material world takes shape. But that knowledge conveyed by that sound is material knowledge. Whereas the knowledge that is the basic building block of the spiritual world is knowledge of Krishna, pure Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada also said, there's like this world is composed of atoms, and ultimately What are atoms? What are dividing atoms, smaller particles? What is the ultimate particle? The ultimate particle is the spirit soul. So similarly, the spirit soul in the spiritual world is the ultimate particle. The spiritual world is also composed of spirit souls, Brahman energy. But what is the difference? The difference is that the spirit souls there are Krishna conscious, and here they're not. Therefore, when you put them together, in the spiritual world, you get a wonderful place, which is eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss. When you put the non-Krishna conscious spirit souls together, you get this place. You get Sophia. Sophia also means material knowledge. Narottam Das Thakur says, Golokera Prema Dana Harinama Sankirtan. The Sankirtan movement is exported directly out of Goloka Vrindavan to this material world. So the sound vibration of the Hare Krishna mantra, the sound vibration of this message of Krishna consciousness, is not material sound. It is transcendental, coming from Golok, from Krishna's own abode. So, in a sense, your question can be answered, can be understood in this way, that sound vibration is the ultimate aspect of everything, both spiritual and material. Just like it says that the spiritual world, or Goloka Vrindavan, Golok is comprised of four aspects. There is Nam, there is Rup, there is Guna, and there is Lila. These four. Nam means name, Rup means form, Guna means quality, and Lila means pastimes. Pastimes. So that of these four, Nam, the holy name, is all inclusive. It includes the other three. If one has Nam, then he also has Rup, Guna, Lila. So in this sense we can say transcendental sound is the essence. But this is the point, the Nam is spiritual, transcendental. Whereas the sound that is underlying everything here in the material world is material sound. Actually, the sound that underlies this material world is Namaparat. Because it's Vedic sound, but it's being used. The Vedas are being employed for sense gratification. Baladev Vidyabhusan, great Vaishnavacharya, he says that all names are only Krishna's name. All names of anything is really only a name of Krishna. Because Krishna is everything. But when people want to use everything in this material world for sense gratification, then these names become namapara. And that's why we have to stay here. Birth after birth. Chanting namapara. Any other questions? Yes? Yes, yes. The pastimes of the original personality of Godhead coming to spread Sankirtan happens only once in their Brahma. But in every Kali Yuga, there is an avatar of the Lord, not the original personality of God, but there is an avatar who appears for that purpose. That avatar liberates the conditioned souls by Sankirtan. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not only liberates, but he gives Krishna prema. So that opportunity is most rare, therefore Srila Rupa Goswami has praised O Chaitanya, Namo Mahabharanyaya, Krishna Prema Pradhan. You are the most of all avatars, you are the most merciful because you give Krishna Prema. Are there any other questions? So, I invite everyone to come to the evening program that will be held in this temple throughout the week from tomorrow through Friday. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night, His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Purnaswami will be giving lectures on the 64 aspects of devotional service from Nectar of Devotion. And on Tuesday and Thursday, Gopal Vrindapal Das Brahmachari Ji will tell you many nice stories. So, don't miss. And I will be giving the Bhagavatam class. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai!